Hey, Walter Sorrells back with more tips for the knife maker. Today I'm going to get preachy on you. The lesson is buy good tools. So the other day I got contacted by somebody who represents a company that makes a little Dremel, kind of a knockoff, a little rotary tool, and they asked if they could send me a copy of the tool and have me do a review of it for the channel. So I said sure. They sent me the tool. A couple of weeks went by, and I finally came up with a little project that I was like, oh, this would be a great place to test out this tool. So got the tool out, put all the stuff together, started making something, and in 3 minutes that machine was broken. Not only did it break one way, it broke like in 3 different ways in 3 minutes. It was unbelievable what a piece of crap this thing was. So it really got me thinking about the importance of buying good tools. Now I'm kind of running over some things that I've talked about in little bits and pieces in other videos, and if I'm repeating myself here, forgive me, but I think this is a topic that a lot of people can benefit from. So there are a lot of situations where if you don't have the right tool, you just create all kinds of frustration for yourself. Now here's the problem with buying good tools. Good tools take high quality materials, they take experienced professional workmen, and they take a company that kind of knows what they're doing. And if any of that's missing, then the tools that you buy are just not going to be that good. And unfortunately, all of that comes with a price. So what I'm trying to talk about here today is kind of some strategies for optimizing the tools that you have and for accumulating the best quality tools that you can without breaking the bank. So the first strategy for buying really high quality tools is to get the low-hanging fruit. I just did a video about buying a belt grinder. High quality belt grinders are not cheap, but they're really kind of foundational tools for knife makers. But you don't have to start with them. I've said it many times before, you can make a really high quality knife with a hacksaw and a file. So start with those, tools where $10 or $15 or $20 will actually buy you a really high quality tool, and then move up to the more expensive things as you start to get deeper into the craft and really feel like, okay, this is something that it's worth, digging a little deeper into the pocket to fund. So along those lines, I think it's really important to do research. Don't go stampeding immediately to buying some kind of tool that you don't really need. So the more time that you're out there accumulating information, first, it's kind of fun to do that. And second, once you feel like you've kind of understood what's out there in the field in a particular area, you can make a much better, much more informed choice about what you're actually going to spend your money on. And sometimes you may even discover, hey, I don't need to spend money on this kind of tool at all. Okay, that never happens. But still, you might discover that, you don't need the Cadillac, that you can get a slightly less expensive model or something. I think there's a tendency to think, oh, I've got to have something American made or German made or Japanese made, and that, a tool made in China is going to be a big mistake. Not necessarily so. I've got a lot of tools here that are Chinese made or Taiwanese made or whatever, but they're high quality tools. They're maybe not the highest quality, but for what I need, they're adequate. So if you're making folding knives, for instance, you may need to have precision down to the 10,000th of an inch. If you're making the kind of knives that I typically make, I don't necessarily need quite that level of precision. And so a machine that's not at the absolute apex of machine making technology may work for me. And so it'd be kind of throwing away money to spend an extra $10,000 on a machine that has levels of precision that I'll never benefit from. So the more that you understand and anticipate what you might be doing with it, maybe the easier it is to kind of frame exactly the kind of machine that you need and not overbuy. So there is a flip side to that, and that is, don't buy something inadequate just because you feel like, oh, I need such and such kind of tool and I can't really afford it. A lot of times, if you're careful and you budget and you think about it, you can come up with a way to accumulate the money that you would require to get, let's just say, a better belt grinder if you just kind of wait an extra 6 months or whatever. And sometimes that 6 months may really be tantalizing. You feel like, oh God, I want to spend this money, I want to throw it down. But in the case of belt grinders, for instance, I think you're well served to wait that extra time if that's what it takes, because the better machine is going to really serve you well. But like I said, plenty of other areas where, well, you don't need that Cadillac. Another general point that I would make is the hollowing out of industry in Western Europe and the United States and so forth may be bad for the countries, but it's fantastic for people who want to buy secondhand machines. I mean, in the United States, where I live, obviously, you can buy all kinds of really high quality machine tools used on eBay or Craigslist. Sometimes at flea markets even, you can find tools of various sorts. Very high quality. They may be used, but if you're patient and you identify exactly what you need and you're willing to wait, then it may take you a while to find that exact thing at the price you can afford, but then when you do, man, you've got a tool that's going to last you the rest of your life and be exactly what you need. So let me just wrap up by saying it's kind of amazing, really, that high quality tools almost always turn out to have all kinds of uses that you never even anticipated. So you get this kind of bonus with buying really good tools because it does whatever it is that you wanted it to do, and then it almost always does something else that you never even anticipated. So take your time, identify exactly what you need, do your research, shop carefully, and when you bring home that really fine tool, you're going to be very happy that you did. Now, will your spouse be as delirious as you were? Perhaps not. But after all, compromise is the soul of marriage. And why should it always be you who's giving and giving and giving? See you next week. Thanks for watching, guys. If you feel like you got something out of this video, don't forget to subscribe. Also, click on the link to Patreon for a great way to give back to the channel. Plus, check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Links in the description. If you want something sharp and pointy, maybe a gift for yourself or one of the cooler people in your life, check out my Tactics Armory website and pick up one of our tactical or outdoor knives. And finally, if you want to learn to make Hamones or Japanese swords, check out WalterSorrellsBlades.com, where you can find videos about how I make Hamones, as well as forging, mounting, polishing, and fittings for Japanese swords. Thanks, and see you soon.